Hello everybody, welcome back for another episode on the Darwin's Room channel. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I really appreciate all of your support. Today we're going to be talking about the latest in this trend of live action remakes of animated classics. Today we're going to be looking at How to Train Your Dragon. This one comes from DreamWorks Pictures and follows a young Viking who is training to be a dragon slayer, but realizes that maybe he's not cut out to be a dragon slayer when he comes across a dragon that helps him to see that maybe dragons aren't the beasts that his village thinks they are. So let me start by saying I love the original How to Train Your Dragon trilogy. It has been a while since I've watched them, so I don't fully remember them, but I remember enough. And this felt very much, based on what I could remember, beat for beat. I think it was pretty beat for beat what the animated film was, and I don't think they made really too many changes to the content. So I would say that this is easily the most loyal, adaptation, live action adaptation that we've gotten. And I really appreciated it. I thought that it was such a spectacle, the dragon flight sequences are stunning for the most part. There are a couple sequences that the visuals could have been better. My assumption is that given the ending of the film, kind of the big climax of it all, they had to put more of the budget there and less of the budget in one particular sequence that I'm thinking of that I think could have used a little bit more polishing, if that makes sense. But in general, though, the visuals are stunning. The atmosphere, the setting, it's beautiful. I think it really lends itself to the story, and it kind of elevates it in a way because you just feel so involved and taken into this plot. And it was really fantastic. And the performances are really good too, and I really enjoyed the casting of this movie. I think everyone did a great job. Obviously, we have Gerard Butler. He reprised his role as Stoic, who is Hiccup's dad. It was really cool to see him in that role again, and to see it kind of, live action, and see how he brings the serious elements, the somewhat comedic elements, and how to mesh those together. It was really cool to see. And I love Gerard Butler, and anything he does, I'll watch it. So it was cool to see him, and it was cool to see him reprise this role, and I think he did a great job. And then we also have Mason Thames, who plays Hiccup, and he did a great job. I think he really fit the bill. He does a good job emotionally, comedically. I think he really brought this character to life. But I haven't seen him before, that actor, Mason Thames, but he was really great, and I really, really, really enjoyed him. So that was really cool to see, just how he really dedicated himself to this role and wanting to bring kind of an authentic experience to bring the animated film to life. And I really loved that. And then Astrid, who is played so charismatically by Nico Parker. She is awesome. I really, really enjoyed her as Astrid. She had this toughness, but also this sentimentality that she brought to the role, and I think she did a great job. And the chemistry between Parker and Thames is really solid. I like how they work together. They do great together. And there's some, the chemistry is really nice. The romantic elements, you could see it there, and it's really sweet. So I really appreciated it. I think that they did a great job. Like I said, this plays pretty much beat for beat like the original. And so it's hard not to enjoy it. If you like the original, I can't imagine you not liking this one. I can see an argument to be made where, since it's just like the original, people might question, well, what was the point of it being made? But then on the other hand, if they made any changes, people would have said, oh, I wish they didn't make that change. So people are never going to be fully satisfied. But I think this is solid. I highly enjoyed it. In terms of issues, like I said, there's some visuals in certain areas. But other than that, again, the visuals are fantastic. In terms of costume design, I will say the costume design felt a little cheap. It kind of felt some of the costumes are good. I'm not saying all of it is bad. Some of it looks good. Some of it looks like it's well made, you know, and really dedicated to providing a live action experience. Other parts of it that my wife, she was kind of laughing at, is that you could tell that some of the wigs were really, really bad. And that's kind of, you know, frustrating, because I think there's no reason they should have made the costumes look so cheap. Like, some of the wigs were bad. Some of the outfits could have been better. But in general, you know, they stay true to the original. It's a sweet family film. It's really heartfelt. You know, the climax is great. It's exciting. There's an emotional element there. I do think that maybe that emotional element was more effective in the animated film, just because with animated movies, you can kind of dismiss reality a little bit more. And even though it's a fantasy film with dragons and Vikings and all that, it's harder to put reality away because it's live action. And so the way that the film ends and what happens with Hiccup is more believable in the animated film than it is in live action. But, you know, that doesn't bother me too much. I still think it was really emotional. So I think that they did an excellent job with this movie. And I enjoyed this a lot. This was such a sweet film. I found myself constantly chuckling. Toothless, again, he's such a, you know, fun character. I love that dragon. You know, there's a reason there's so many stuffed animals about Toothless. He's such a cute and sweet and fun dragon. And it was cool to see the relationship between Hiccup and Toothless and how they kind of slowly build their bond and look out for each other. So it was really nice. I think it just helped to further send the story home. And it did. This movie, the whole film crew did a great job. They really made sure to bring a solid interpretation of the original in live action. And so if they decide to complete the rest of the trilogy, I'll be on board. I'll be in the theaters. I will be there waiting to see it, because I really enjoyed this. This was fantastic. And I think that if you guys like the original movies, you're going to like this one. There's no reason why you wouldn't enjoy this one, or at least have a good time with it. You could prefer the animated one, sure. But I think because of how loyal it is to the original, there's really no reason to not find enjoyment in it, you know? So definitely go see this movie. I went to go watch it in Dolby, but in IMAX, they had some extras. They were giving out posters at the early fan event screening. So if they happen to be giving those out still, maybe watch it in IMAX if you want the poster. But otherwise, Dolby was great. You know, I always love Dolby. I'm a sucker for Dolby Cinema. But it was such an incredible experience. I had so much fun with this movie. I was constantly chuckling and smiling, and it was just a really fun and sweet film. So I'm excited to see if they continue the trilogy, but even if it just stands with this on its own, it's solid. But anyways, that being said, How to Train Your Dragon. I am going to give it 4 out of 5 stars. This was such a sweet movie, a fun movie. It's great for the whole family. I highly recommend it. So if you guys have a chance to get out to the theater this weekend or next weekend, please give this movie some support and go check it out. Let me know what you guys thought. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I look forward to talking to you guys soon. I should have another review coming in about a week or so. So stay tuned. I got some more content coming soon. Take care.